This is a SnapEd New York video presentation.
Hi, everyone. Happy National Nutrition Month. Welcome to our virtual grocery store tour. My name is Jairy.
And my name is Karen.
And we're both nutrition educators from the BronxWorks SnapEd program. Before we get started, I just want to say that our program is funded by the Department of Agriculture, and we are an equal opportunity provider. So I will lead this tour in English, and my colleague Karen will translate in Spanish.
Okay. Hola a todos, bienvenidos a nuestro recorrido por la tienda. Su nombre es Jairy y mi nombre es Karen. Ambas somos educadoras en nutrición y vamos a estar dando algunos tips de nutrición. Antes de empezar este tour, queremos dejarles saber que nuestro programa está fundado por el Departamento de Agricultura de los Estados Unidos y se llama BronxWorks SnapEd.
Perfect. So our program, SnapEd, is a program that helps individuals and families eat and shop healthy on a budget. And this year's theme for National Nutrition Month is Fuel for the Future. So what that means is really eating in ways that work for you and in sustainable ways. So what we'll do during this tour is first talk about what a healthy plate looks like, and then we're going to share some money saving tips.
Okay. Entonces, BronxWorks es un programa que ayuda a toda la comunidad para la igualdad de nosotros. También, por ser Mes Nacional de la Nutrición, el tema de hoy es combustible para el futuro. Esto se encarga de que nosotros vamos a elegir y vamos a tener sustentabilidad.
Perfect. So let's get started. Before you go food shopping, it may be helpful to know what you're going to make throughout the week, right? Because you're planning. That way you're not spending money outside on food and you're not spending a lot of time in the kitchen.
Okay. So, antes de empezar, queremos dejarles saber que cuando nosotros no sabemos o no tenemos una receta a tiempo, nosotros quizá podemos gastar más dinero, podamos salir a comprar cosas que quizá no necesitamos o comer fuera.
Yeah, so you want to choose a recipe that may just give you some leftovers, enough for 2-3 days, however you'd like to do it. And once you choose a recipe, you then want to check your pantry, your fridge, anywhere in your kitchen where you have food and see what you have and what you need to buy.
Entonces, nosotros queremos buscar en nuestros gabinetes, en nuestro refrigerador, qué es lo que tenemos y qué es lo que nos va a alcanzar para que entonces no estemos comprando de más.
Yeah. So after you choose a recipe, it's really helpful. It's really underrated, but it's helpful to have a shopping list. Mm-hmm. So you can use a shopping list like this one because it's already portioned out into the My Plate food groups. So what is My Plate, right? My Plate right here, as you can see, is just a visual guide that you can use to make healthy meals and snacks at home. And as you can see here, half of it is full of fruits and vegetables. A quarter of your plate is grains, a quarter is protein, and we have a serving of dairy.
Uh-huh. Entonces, cuando nosotros queramos podemos hacer nuestra receta y tener nuestra lista de compras. Como ustedes pueden ver, aquí nosotros ya tenemos dividido qué es lo que vamos a querer comprar. Y es muy importante ligarlo con mi plato. ¿Qué es mi plato? Mi plato básicamente tiene la mitad de frutas y verduras, como pueden ver aquí, y también tenemos un cuarto de granos, un cuarto de proteínas, y es una manera fácil de guiarnos cuando se trata de escribir nuestros ingredientes para nuestra receta.
Yeah. So let's practice making a shopping list. I want to make a black bean burger tonight, and I'm going to need some ingredients. I'm going to need some whole wheat burger buns and some brown rice, and that's going to fall under the grain group. I'm going to have some black beans and some eggs, which fall under the protein group. And for my vegetables, I'm going to use some scallions, garlic, and cilantro. Now, looking at this list, I could already tell what ingredients I want to switch out. For example, instead of scallions, I may choose carrots.
Uh-huh. Entonces, vamos a elegir nuestra receta de hoy. Va a ser aquí podemos escribir nuestra lista de comida. Vamos a poner nuestro pan integral redondo para hamburguesas. Vamos a tener un arroz integral. En vegetales vamos a usar cebollines, vamos a usar ajo, cilantro. Después, para nuestra proteína, vamos a usar huevos y frijoles negros.
Yeah, so before we decide to change the recipe, let's go over an important skill that's going to help you choose certain products at the supermarket. And that's reading a nutrition facts label.
Entonces, nosotros podemos cambiar nuestra receta si queramos, pero antes de hacer eso, es importante saber cómo leer una etiqueta de información nutricional, y eso es a donde vamos ahora.
So let's go back to our shopping list. We're buying canned beans, right? What's the best way of buying beans? Is dried or canned? You can buy them dried if you'd like. They're usually low cost, and the only thing is that they may require a little bit more preparation. Whereas canned beans, they are pre-cooked, they're more convenient, and they require little preparation.
Entonces, vamos a ir a nuestra lista de ingredientes otra vez y vamos a elegir los frijoles. ¿Y cuál será la manera fácil de elegir frijoles? Podemos usar secos, podemos usar enlatados. Los secos son a bajo costo, solo que nos tomarían más tiempo en la cocina. Sin embargo, cuando son enlatados, nos tomarían menos tiempo en la cocina y también son a presupuesto bajo.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with canned beans for this recipe because it's just more convenient, right? Let's practice looking at the nutrition label on this. So when we turn it around, well, actually, let's look at the front of the label. The front of the label is going to say low sodium, right? So that already tells us that it's going to have less salt. And when we turn it around and see the nutrition facts label, go down to sodium, and you're going to see it says 120 milligrams of sodium. Now, you may be wondering, is that a lot? Is that a little bit? I don't know. What you're going to do to find that out is look at that percentage right next to the milligrams. That percentage is called percent daily value, and it already does the math for us. Generally, 20% or more is considered high, and 5% or below is considered low. So the percent daily value for this one is 5%, which means it's pretty low in sodium and salt.
Entonces, por preferencia, vamos a usar frijoles enlatados. Y lo primero que queremos hacer cuando elegimos comida enlatada es mirar la etiqueta que tiene aquí. Entonces, en este caso, aquí nos está diciendo bajo en sodio. Cuando damos la vuelta y vemos a nuestra etiqueta de información nutricional, buscamos la palabra sodio y dice 135 miligramos. Ahora, cuando buscamos el valor diario de porcentaje, nos dice que tiene 5%. Eso es súper bueno porque está bajo en sodio. Se dice que cuando es de 5 para abajo es bajo en sodio. Y cuando es de 120 es alto en sodio.
Yes, right? Let's look at the other version of canned beans that we have. Now, when we look at the front of the label, it doesn't say that it's low sodium. And when we turn it around and look at the nutrition facts label, we see that it says 460 milligrams of sodium. And the percent daily value for that one is 19%. And like we said, 20% or more is considered high. That's almost 20%. So I would say this is pretty high in salt.
Entonces aquí tenemos otro frijol y como pueden ver no hay ninguna etiqueta de este lado. Entonces nos vamos a nuestra etiqueta de información nutricional otra vez y vemos sodio. Dice que tiene 410 miligramos. Ahora veamos el porcentaje y dice 18. Y acabamos de decir que cuando es de 20 para arriba está alto en sodio. Lo que quiere decir que este frijol está altamente en sodio.
Yes. And when you look at the prices for both of the versions, they're usually both the same price. So it's really easy to make that healthier choice and choose the one that is low sodium. And you can use this tip when you're buying other canned beans or other canned vegetables that are usually packed with salt.
Entonces, estos dos frijoles cuestan lo mismo, solo que uno está bajo en sodio y el otro está en sodio muy alto. Entonces, este tip ustedes lo quieren usar para sus comidas enlatadas todo el tiempo. Asegúrense que sea bajo en sodio y no alto en sodio.
Right. So let's move on to the next thing on our ingredient list, which is our whole wheat burger buns, right? Which is bread. I'm going to put these out here. Okay. Yes. So bread is part of our grain group on my plate. And this grain group, or foods that are made from grains, are known to provide a lot of fiber, which is going to keep our digestive system healthy.
Entonces, nuestro segundo ingrediente va a ser granos, que lo encontramos también en mi plato. Y estamos eligiendo un pan blanco y un pan en granos enteros. Cuando son granos enteros, contienen fibra. Y la fibra quiere decir que es muy conocida la fibra en que nos ayuda a tener una digestión bien.
Yes. So when choosing any food from the grain group, you like Karen said, you want to choose the whole grain or whole wheat versions. Why? Because they're just going to have that extra fiber. So let's practice reading both of these labels. We have white bread here and we have whole wheat bread on the other hand.
Entonces, vamos a practicar cómo darnos cuenta que de verdad tienen fibra estos panes aquí, ¿verdad? Vamos a ver nuestra etiqueta de información nutricional y descubrir qué es lo que hay ahí.
Yeah, so let's start with the white bread. We've got old-time white bread here. Nothing in front of the label says that it's whole wheat. It's white bread, right? We want to look at the fiber. So the fiber, you're going to find it in the nutrition facts label where it says under total carbs. This one says that it's less than 1 gram of fiber. That's not a lot of fiber, no. But a good tip to find out if a bread is whole wheat or whole grain is by looking at the ingredient list. It will always be listed as the first ingredient.
Ok, entonces vamos a darle la vuelta para buscar a nuestra etiqueta de información nutricional y aquí vemos que la fibra es 1 gramo, entonces es muy poquita en fibra. Nosotros queremos encontrar siempre fibra en altas cantidades, ¿verdad? Y cuando vamos a la lista de ingredientes, queremos ver que diga granos enteros o granos integrales. Y aquí nos está diciendo, el primer ingrediente es enriquecido en harinas.
Yeah, so this is an enriched white bread, right? Let's take a look at Sara Lee 100% whole wheat bread. So you already see in the front of the label, it says 100% whole wheat, but let's just play the whole grain detective and be sure. Let's look at the ingredient list. The ingredient list, well, the fiber, 2 grams. It's a little bit more than the white bread. But when you look at the ingredient list, it says whole wheat flour as the first ingredient. So you know this is going to give you a lot more fiber.
Bueno, entonces aquí la primera cosa que ya vemos enfrente de esta etiqueta es que dice 100% granos enteros. Pero vamos a buscar más en la etiqueta de información nutricional y aquí nos dice que tiene 2 gramos de fibra, o sea que es más alto que este pan. Y después, cuando vemos a la lista de ingredientes, aquí podemos ver que dice granos enteros. Entonces, esto es lo que nosotros queremos consumir.
Yes, and we know that there's different types of bread out there, you know, especially this one is a whole lot cheaper. But if you prefer another bread that may be outside of your budget, you may want to find them when they're in sale.
Y también quizá ustedes tengan preferencia con otros tipos de panes, quizá que contengan semillas. Estos son baratos, pero si usted quiere panes que sean integrales y trigo con algo más, usted los puede buscar cuando estén en oferta.
Yes. And again, you want to look for words like 100% whole wheat, not just with bread, but with pasta, with oats, with tortillas, and other grain products.
Y este mismo tip que acabamos de dar lo pueden usar para arroz, cereales, avena y cualquier otro grano.
Yes. So let's go on to our next food groups on my plate, which is fruits and vegetables. There are so many different ways of enjoying fruits and vegetables. You can have them fresh, you can have them canned, you can have them frozen, and they're all great. They all count. Whatever form you decide to buy is really up to you and your preference. But let's talk about the pros and the cons of each form so that you know how to save money.
Entonces ahora vamos a ir a nuestras frutas y verduras y vamos a ver, usted puede disfrutar sus frutas y verduras de la manera que a usted le parezca más conveniente o le guste más. Pero vamos a ver algunos pros y contras que podemos encontrar.
Yeah, so when you're buying fresh fruits or vegetables, the pros, when you go to the supermarket, there's a huge variety, right? You can touch, you can smell, you can not taste them, but you can feel them for ripeness. And when they're in season, they tend to cost a lot less. When they're not in season, they're more expensive. For example, you wouldn't buy watermelons in December, right? And also, if you don't know too much about ripeness or how to store them, they may go bad before you get to use them, and that's a waste of money.
Entonces, cuando compramos frutas enteras, es importante saber que las tenemos que comprar o tratar de comprarlas cuando están en temporada, porque así el precio es mucho menor. Y también usted las puede tocar, las puede oler, sentir, no probar, porque no puede, ¿verdad? Pero este es un tip que usted puede encontrar.
Yes. And when you're buying canned or frozen, they're very convenient, right? Just like our beans, it's pre-cooked. These are probably already chopped up. They're canned or frozen when they're at the highest of nutrition. They don't pick them when they're not ripe yet. And they're convenient. They're available all year round. And you can find them in mostly all supermarkets, right? The only thing is, if you're going to choose these, you may want to look out for added sugar or added salt if you're buying canned vegetables.
Okay. Entonces, cuando se trata de frutas enlatadas o vegetales enlatados o congelados, también tenemos que tomar en cuenta que estos están todo el año en los supermercados. En cualquier supermercado los puede encontrar. Y también cada vez que usted los encuentra, tiene que asegurarse de leer sus etiquetas de información nutricional.
Yes. So again, they're all nutritious, all forms. And as you can see, there's really no best way of buying them. Again, it's all up to you and your preference. If you're choosing fresh, buy them in season so that you're not spending a lot of money. And also know how to store them, right? Put them in your fridge. Even the freezer can go a long way. If you're buying canned fruits, you want to buy them in 100% fruit juice, which we'll go over right now. And if you're buying canned beans or canned vegetables, you want to look for the less sodium label like we did with the beans.
Entonces, como podemos ver, no hay una manera exacta de elegir nuestras frutas. Tenemos muchas opciones. Entonces, solo recuerde que cuando las compre en temporada, le van a salir más baratas. También asegúrese de que no se le pudran. Asegúrese cómo almacenarlas para que estas le duren más tiempo. Usted las puede congelar o las puede poner en refrigeración. También cuando sean enlatados, asegúrese que diga, bueno, vamos a ir aquí a un segundo con esto para explicarles en detalles cómo lo acabamos de hacer con los frijoles enlatados bajo en sodio y altos en sodio.
Yeah, so before looking at the added sugar in canned fruit, I do want to say that when you buy convenience food like bagged lettuce or pre-cut fruits and vegetables, they're going to cost more. If it fits your budget, go for it. It's very convenient. Don't have to prep a lot. But I would recommend, to save money, just buy them in their whole form and then do all the washing and preparing and chopping at home.
Entonces, cuando usted compra, digamos, ensalada en bolsas o fruta cortada que vienen ya ahí puestas o vegetales, asegúrese, le van a salir más caros. Entonces, usted tiene que comprarlas mejor enteras y cortarlas en casa y usted misma ponerlas en su tupper.
Yes. All right, so let's practice looking at the added sugar in canned fruit. So here we have pineapple slices in 100% fruit juice. And when we see the label right under pineapple slices, we see that it says 100% pineapple juice. And when you see that all that means is that there's no added sugar. All the sugar that is in here is coming directly from the fruit, and it also has some nutrients in there. When we look around at the nutrition label, right, go down where it says total sugars, we see that it says 0 grams of added sugar, and that's 0% of our daily value. So that's how you know right there, there's no type of added sugar in this.
Okay. Entonces, vamos a poner en práctica ahora cómo buscar frutas enlatadas que no contengan demasiada azúcar, ¿verdad? Entonces, usted, para empezar, aquí nos está diciendo 100% jugo de piña, que contiene jugo de piña, ¿verdad? Entonces, esto es una buena señal. Después, usted quiere dar la vuelta y buscar su etiqueta de información nutricional, bajar a donde dice el total de azúcares. En este caso, aquí tenemos 27 gramos. Y de azúcares agregadas, solo hay un 0%, o sea que no hay. Entonces, eso es una buena señal porque solo tenemos la azúcar de la fruta.
Now, let's look at the one that says in heavy syrup, right? So syrup is another form of sugar. We see pineapple slices in heavy syrup. When we turn around and look at the nutrition label, we go down to total sugars. It has 47 grams of added sugars, and 27 out of those 47 are added, right? So there's natural sugar coming from the fruit, and then there's more sugar added, right? So we want to limit using these, and we want to choose the ones that say 100% fruit juice.
Entonces, ahora aquí tenemos otro mismo que se aparece mucho, pero cuando leemos la etiqueta de enfrente, aquí nos está diciendo claramente que está alto en jarabe. ¿Ok? Y jarabe es otro tipo de azúcar. Entonces, cuando le damos la vuelta para ver la etiqueta de información nutricional, estamos encontrando 47 gramos de azúcar y y también tiene azúcares agregadas, tiene el 54% de azúcares agregadas. Entonces, esto es demasiada azúcar. Entonces, nosotros queremos consumir más esto que los que vengan con altos en jarabes.
Yes, a little nutrition tip for you.
Este es un pequeño tip para usted cuando compre sus frutas enlatadas.
All right. Now, the last tip we have for you for saving money on fruits and vegetables is buying in bulk, which means you're buying larger quantities of food for a cheaper price.
Ok, entonces el último tip que tenemos para ustedes hoy es que es comprar en mayoreo, o sea, en cantidades grandes.
Yeah, so when you're buying in bulk with fruits and vegetables, you know, when you go to the supermarket, you see they sell a single onion or a single apple, but sometimes they come in a bag, and those are the ones that are usually cheaper.
Okay, entonces cuando nosotros vamos al supermercado vemos que usted puede comprar frutas por sí sola, solo una, pero también vemos que puede comprar en cantidades grandes. Entonces nosotros queremos elegir por cantidades grandes porque así estaríamos ahorrando más dinero.
Yeah, so when you're buying in bulk, you want to practice using the unit price, and that's what we're going to go over right here.
Entonces, cuando nosotros compramos nuestras frutas y verduras, queremos enfocarnos en el precio unitario, y eso es de lo que nos vamos a enfocar ahora mismo.
Yeah, so we have two different types of carrots here, two different forms. We have whole and we have shredded. Let's take a look at the whole form first. So this whole form, we're paying the retail price, which is the price that you pay. You're paying $3.49. How much are you getting? You're getting 5 pounds. That's what the unit is. It's in pounds. And for every pound, you're paying 70 cents. That is the unit price, 70 cents per pound.
Ok, entonces aquí tenemos dos tipos de zanahorias. Tenemos las enteras y las ralladas. Las enteras nos están diciendo que cuesta $3.49 por 5 libras, ¿verdad? Y cuando nos enfocamos en el precio unitario, vemos que son 70 centavos.
Yes, let's take a look at the shredded carrots. For the shredded carrots, you're paying $2, right? That's the price that you're paying, but you're only getting 10 ounces of shredded carrots. Now, when you're using unit prices, it may be helpful to know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. So as you can see here, you're paying $2 for less than 1 pound. And the unit price is $3.18 per pound. So let's say you were buying a pound of shredded carrots, you'd be paying $3.18.
Yeah. All right. So aquí tenemos entonces a las zanahorias ralladas. El precio unitario es $2 por 10 onzas. Cabe mencionar que cuando nosotros cuando es una libra es igual a 16 onzas. Entonces, cuando nos enfocamos en el precio unitario es $3.18.
Yeah. So at first glance, it may look like the shredded carrots is cheaper, but when you look at the unit price, the whole carrots is actually cheaper. You're getting a lot more carrots for a cheaper price than you would buying a pound of shredded carrots.
Entonces, cuando nosotros miramos esto a simple vista, pensamos, oh, las zanahorias ralladas cuestan menos, pero cuando nos enfocamos en el precio unitario podemos ver una gran diferencia. Entonces, queremos enfocarnos en frutas como estas.
Yes. And usually you want to use bulk buying. It doesn't work with every single food, but you want to use it when you're buying the same food in different forms, like we just did, whole carrots and shredded carrots, or when you're comparing different store brands.
Okay. Y quizá no trabajen con la misma marca, entonces usted puede usar este tip, es muy útil, lo puede usar para otras frutas y verduras y dependiendo también de la marca.
Yeah, so that's all the tips that we have today. Yeah, that's all the tips that we have today. I want to say thank you for joining us at this grocery store tour. We hope that you find these tips useful. If you want more information on how to save time and save money while eating healthy, you can visit our website at snapedny.org, or you can follow us on Instagram at snapedny or HL Also, if you want to grab your ingredients and make a black bean burger, which we've been talking about this whole time, Christopher and Wendy on March 30th, they're going to demonstrate how to make this at home at 12 p.m. right here on our Facebook Live. And yeah, happy National Nutrition Month, everybody. I hope you celebrate and we'll stick around if you have any questions.
Bueno, entonces eso ha sido todos nuestros tips por hoy. Esperamos que les sean muy útiles y pónganlos en práctica. Ya verán que es muy fácil seguirlos. Entonces, también, si ustedes quieren seguir la receta de los ingredientes que dimos hoy cuando hicimos nuestra lista de compras, Christopher y Wendy estarán dando un Facebook en vivo aquí en esta página a las 12:30 el marzo 30. Eso ha sido todo por hoy y feliz mes de la nutrición. Estaremos aquí por si tienen muchas preguntas.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you for joining us today. We know the healthy choice isn't always the easiest choice, but small changes can make a big difference. Start today by getting involved with SNAP Ed New York. This program is free for those who qualify or receive SNAP benefits. We want to help you save time, save money, and eat healthy. Learn how SNAP Ed can make a difference in your life. For more information and to find your local program, visit snapedny.org. This material was funded by USDA's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.